our future's really in our hands. We have this cost opportunity at the company that we've talked to you about, and that's really where our focus is.
Donald Trump's recent declaration against Ford's manufacturing strategy stands as a striking demonstration of the intermingling of politics, trade policy, and corporate decision-making. The announcement, which comes amid discussions about relocating some Ford production to Mexico, was delivered with a force and tone that underscores a broader political philosophy focused on preserving domestic industry. The threat to impose a 200% tariff on Ford products if the relocation proceeds is not simply a policy maneuver, it is a potent reminder of how government intervention can be used to directly influence corporate behavior. This dramatic stance has resonated widely as it encapsulates the fervor of economic nationalism, while simultaneously exposing the vulnerabilities inherent in globalized production networks. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The threat of a 200% tariff represents a severe punitive measure aimed at dissuading a major American automaker from making cost-driven decisions that could undermine domestic employment and industrial capacity. Such a tariff, if implemented, would drastically increase the cost of Ford products entering the American market, thereby serving as a financial deterrent against shifting production away from the United States. This measure is intended to make any decision to move manufacturing operations abroad not only politically contentious, but economically unsound. By leveraging trade policy in this manner, the administration signals its readiness to utilize economic instruments as a means of safeguarding national interests, a move that challenges the conventional separation between governmental policy and corporate strategy. The situation poses a significant dilemma for Ford, whose leadership is caught between the imperative to remain competitive in a global market and the pressures of adhering to a nationalistic economic agenda. The company's exploration of relocating manufacturing operations to Mexico is driven by the long-standing quest to optimize costs, streamline supply chains, and improve overall efficiency. However, the prospect of facing such an extreme tariff introduces a risk that could radically alter the cost-benefit analysis. The threat forces Ford to confront the possibility that the short-term savings achieved by shifting production could be overwhelmed by the long-term financial penalties imposed by punitive tariffs. This clash of economic pragmatism with political imperatives has created a highly charged atmosphere that pits corporate strategy against the backdrop of a fiercely protective trade policy. From an economic perspective, the imposition of a 200% tariff would send shockwaves through not only the automotive sector, but also the broader manufacturing landscape. In a market characterized by tight margins and intense global competition, any additional cost burden has the potential to significantly impact pricing structures, consumer demand, and ultimately, market share. The prospect of inflated costs due to steep tariffs could lead to a recalibration of supply chains across industries, as companies may opt to either absorb the extra expenses or seek alternative strategies to mitigate the impact. This type of intervention raises complex questions about the balance between protecting domestic industries and maintaining the competitive advantages that come from participating in a globalized economy. Politically, the rhetoric employed in this confrontation reinforces a narrative of strength and unwavering commitment to American industry. The tone of the threat, which leaves little room for compromise, is emblematic of a broader strategy that has characterized much of the recent political discourse. The aggressive stance is designed to appeal to constituents who prioritize job security and the preservation of traditional manufacturing bases. It also sends a clear signal to other corporations that decisions perceived as undermining domestic production could provoke significant governmental responses. Such a stance is not without controversy, as it challenges the principles of free trade and market-driven decision-making, yet it remains a potent symbol of the intersection between political ideology and economic policy. The implications for international trade are equally profound. The move to potentially impose an extreme tariff on Ford products could catalyze a broader shift in trade relationships, particularly with nations that have long been key partners in the global manufacturing ecosystem. Mexico, which has become an integral part of many American companies' supply chains, could find itself at the center of a renewed debate over the merits of cost-effective production versus the imperatives of national economic security. The possibility of a tariff of this magnitude not only threatens to disrupt established trade practices, but also has the potential to provoke retaliatory measures from other countries. In this way, the confrontation is indicative of a larger trend where domestic political considerations increasingly shape international economic policies. The incident reflects a broader ideological struggle that has been simmering for years between advocates of globalization and proponents of economic protectionism. The decision-making process within corporations like Ford is often driven by market realities and competitive pressures which favor efficiency and cost reduction. At the same time, there exists a political force that views the outsourcing of production as a threat to national prosperity and job creation. This dichotomy lies at the heart of a significant debate about the future of manufacturing in the United States. The current conflict, therefore, is not an isolated incident, but rather part of a continuing discourse on how to balance the benefits of global trade with the need to sustain domestic industry and employment. In examining the potential consequences of this confrontation, it becomes clear that the use of tariffs as a tool of political leverage could have far-reaching effects. Companies operating in sectors that rely heavily on cross-border production may increasingly find themselves subject to similar pressures, prompting a reassessment of long-standing strategies centered on globalization. The political willingness to employ such drastic economic measures may encourage a trend towards reshoring production, as businesses weigh the risks of punitive tariffs against the benefits of lower production costs abroad. This shift could fundamentally alter the competitive landscape, forcing companies to innovate in ways that are consistent with a new paradigm of domestically centered manufacturing, even if it means sacrificing some of the efficiencies gained through global supply chains. The clash between political imperatives and corporate strategies also has cultural and ideological dimensions that go beyond mere economics. The confrontation embodies a battle of values, pitting the traditional view of American industrial might and self-reliance against a more modern, interconnected approach to business. The stark language used to describe the threat reflects a deep-seated belief in the need to protect national interests at all costs, even if that means challenging established economic practices. This ideological divide has been a recurring theme in political debates, and it is now being played out in real time through the prism of a high-stakes negotiation between a leading political figure and a major industrial corporation. The event is illustrative of how economic policies can be used as a mechanism for political persuasion and control. When political leaders signal their readiness to impose severe economic penalties, they are not merely engaging in a policy debate, but are actively shaping the strategic decisions of powerful corporations. The threat of a 200% tariff is a clear demonstration of how trade policy can be wielded as a bargaining chip, compelling companies to align their actions with national economic priorities. This tactic, while potentially effective in the short term, also raises important questions about the long-term sustainability of using protectionist measures as a substitute for more comprehensive economic reforms. In essence, the confrontation over Ford's potential relocation of manufacturing operations is a microcosm of a larger battle over the future of American industry and its place in a globalized world. It encapsulates the tensions between economic pragmatism and political idealism, between the drive for efficiency and the imperatives of national pride and security. As companies navigate these turbulent waters, the lines between political influence and business strategy are becoming increasingly blurred. The current standoff, marked by an uncompromising threat of extreme tariffs, serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities that arise when the goals of global competitiveness collide with the demands of domestic political agendas. The discourse surrounding this event is charged with both economic and emotional intensity, offering a window into the evolving relationship between government and business in a rapidly changing world. It illustrates the extent to which political leadership can shape corporate behavior, influencing decisions that have far-reaching implications for domestic employment, international trade, and the overall health of the economy. As the debate continues to unfold, the underlying issues remain a subject of intense scrutiny and passionate debate, highlighting the ongoing challenge of reconciling the divergent priorities of economic efficiency and national security. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Trump's 200% tariff threat against Ford? Will it happen? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.